The names of the celebrities who are allegedly connected to Diddy are being made public as the 5th day of testimony in the Diddy trial comes to a close. A list of celebrities who will be referenced throughout the trials was given to the jurors. And one of Diddy's former bodyguards is also coming forth to discuss how Diddy paid him to keep quiet about the whole thing. This demonstrates that Diddy wasn't operating alone and that a large network of abusers collaborated with him to conceal his wrongdoings.
Michael B. Jordan, Kanye West, and more celebrities were name-dropped at Sean Diddy Combs' trial. As jury selection in the mogul sex trafficking trial got underway May 5th in New York, NBC News reports prospective jurors were shown a list of more than 100 names of people and places that may be referenced during the trial, including actors Michael B. Jordan, Mike Myers, and rapper Kanye West. While the aforementioned celebrities are not implicated in the case, the potential jurors were asked whether they knew any of the names listed and whether it would impact their ability to be impartial, per the outlet. Attorneys did not share an explanation for the list. The names of women who have taken legal action against Combs were also on the list, including his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, whose November 2023 sexual abuse lawsuit against the rapper was settled one day after it was filed. Danity Kane alum Don Richard, who accused Combs of sexual assault in a lawsuit filed in September, was also listed. Combs has denied any wrongdoing in both cases.
Numerous important witnesses and victims have vanished during Diddy's trial, and this is just the beginning.
Whenever these trials come about, closer you get to the trial date, a lot of things start happening to remove people from the case that are going to strengthen the case for the prosecution. And I feel like we're watching that take place now. With one of the male sex worker guys who provided tapes to the feds. He's disappeared. And this is similar to what happened in the Tory Lanez case, where the bodyguard whose DNA was on the weapon, he disappeared. So I expect to see a lot of strange things take place. I expect to see the defense team do a lot of steps to lighten the image of Combs. And we've been watching that take place.
From what you know about him, Sean Combs, obviously the perception of him has changed dramatically since the allegations were made and since he got charged. I mean, from everything we're seeing now, he seems a very unpleasant, nasty, violent piece of work. Is that a correct assessment?
The assessment is going to be correct. So what I've learned is, whenever you see a gentleman like this, from influence and power, whenever they have an addiction to MDMA or a drug entity, they call it the love drug. So he's been doing this drug for over 20 years. So that's going to leave his view skewed when it comes to sexual activity. I believe it's helped turn him into a sexual demon.
According to those close to Diddy, everyone who criticizes Diddy ends up in a sad and premature way. Celebrity bodyguard Big Homie. Cece said he was intimidated for criticizing Diddy in a Piers Morgan episode. Furthermore, Kim Porter's death from pneumonia is not a coincidence. This instance is just the start of terrible things that are taking place behind the scenes.
Right. Well, Piers, let me ask you a question. From your journalistic perspective, have you ever noticed how in this industry, people untimely meet their demise soon as somebody else seems like they're having a problem? Have you ever seen that before?
Well, there was, of course, the case of one of his other ex-girlfriends, Kim Porter, who died of pneumonia at a very young age. You just referenced your own situation with pneumonia that you believe was deliberate poisoning. Do you believe that may be what happened to her?
Why are so many people coming down with pneumonia? Why is that happening to everybody? What is that about? Where have you ever seen this many cases of pneumonia associated with one situation? So, you know.
There were rumors.
Well,
I was going to mention on this that there have been rumors circulating online that Diddy may have poisoned Jamie Foxx, which caused his 2023 hospitalization. In his Netflix show, he compared Combs to the devil in revealing his near-death experience after a brain bleed and stroke. So I say this all the time. I saw the tunnel. I didn't see the light. It was hot in that tunnel. I thought, shit, have I gone to the wrong place? I looked at the end of the tunnel, and I thought I saw the devil saying, come on. Or was that Puffy? I'm messing around, but if that was Puffy, it'd have flamed.
In an effort to disassociate himself from the Diddy problem as much as possible, Justin Bieber is finally speaking out about it. The fact that Justin waited nearly a year to respond to the accusations, and that he did so immediately after celebrities began to be identified, is a little startling. Was there a plot behind this, or is Justin up to something?
Justin Bieber breaking his silence on the ordeal after months of speculation over their one-time relationship. His rep telling ET, although Justin is not among Sean Combs' victims, there are individuals who were genuinely harmed by him. Shifting focus away from this reality detracts from the justice these victims rightfully deserve. Bieber's questionable connection to Diddy piquing interest online as the rap mogul's indictment for sex trafficking and racketeering charges, which he denies, made headlines. Old clips of the two hanging out while Justin was underage resurfacing.
Let's just go get some girls. Let's go hang out some girls.
Man after my heart, that's what I'm talking. We hit him like this, so me and you walking, we hanging out, a little later on the night after the Usher concert.
There's also this old Jimmy Kimmel Live segment, adding to fan fears about what might have gone down with Diddy.
Got me a Lamborghini.
That's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last time.
He had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Oh, apparently not.
Everything ain't for everybody.
This all comes as Bieber's followers are worried for him, the singer's erratic social media posts causing concern week after week, the Beliebers asking if what he's seen behind the scenes of the industry.
Dawn Reard, a member of Danny Kane, a band Diddy formed, also provided testimony during the trial. She claims to have personally seen Diddy's violent tendencies. Richard was called to speak on the stand only a few days ago and is suing Diddy for sexual harassment. She claimed that Diddy was manipulating several musicians who worked for him after witnessing abuse.
Joined Combs' group Diddy Dirty Money after Danny Kane disbanded. While on the stand, she told jurors that she saw Combs hit Ventura with a skillet full of eggs at his Los Angeles home in 2009. Richard added, "I was scared for her. I was scared to do anything." Richard's testimony in Combs' ongoing trial comes 8 months after she accused the rapper in a lawsuit of subjecting her to years of inhumane working conditions, which included groping, assault, and false imprisonment. The lawsuit, filed in September, obtained by E! News, stated, Mr. Combs frequently held meetings with Ms. Richard wearing only his underwear, despite Ms. Richard's protests and repeated requests for him to put on clothing. In her filing, the 41-year-old also alleged that Combs ordered her to strip down to her underwear, made demeaning remarks about her body, and entered her dressing room unannounced while she was unclothed, and touched her without her permission under the guise of showing the stylist what to do.
You understand? Because you might not like it. Something is wrong if you don't think that dude groomed that young girl. Took that impressionable young girl who wanted to be a star, who wanted all her dreams that she had to come true, and fed her drugs, fed her pills, fed her alcohol, and fed her mushrooms and things that she never took before to F her mind up, and then put her in a position that she thought that what little that she had, that she didn't want to lose it. If you didn't think that he did something and did that to her, bro, I gotta say something.
All of Diddy's actions are now at last being revealed. The situation has gotten so bad that Diddy's attorneys are now telling the jury that they are aware of Diddy's violent nature and that what he did cannot be justified.
Here's Fox. Go ahead, Rob.
What jurors heard today were tales of appalling physical abuse by Sean Combs as prosecutors portrayed him as a monster who controlled people and plied them with drugs, threats, money, brandishing guns during these on-camera sexual performances that he liked to call freak-offs. And in fact, jurors were shown for the first time today that horrifying videotape. Combs brutally being and dragging his then-girlfriend. And then a male escort took the witness stand, and he talked about how he saw firsthand that same young woman repeatedly battered by the defendant, who then tried to bribe a hotel security guard with a stack of cash to get rid of the evidence. In opening statements, what struck me was how the defense attorney openly admitted that her client committed domestic violence, but then tried to argue, well, that's not sex trafficking for which he's charged. Technically, yes, but it is an underlying crime in the racketeering case against him, which includes kidnapping, arson, sex crimes, bribery, obstruction, all part of this alleged criminal enterprise run by Sean Combs. His attorney also admitted to the jury that her client's conduct is, quote unquote, indefensible, and that he may be a sexual deviant, but that doesn't make him a criminal, which strikes me as not a terribly great.
Diddy continued to have freak-offs even on the day of his arrest, when his attorneys claim he knew he was going to be caught and had relocated to New York to turn himself in. Officers discovered Diddy in a hotel room with $9,000 in cash and multiple bags containing Astroglide and baby oil when they arrested him. Homeland Security Officer Special Agent Yasin Binda also testified on the 5th day of the trial, discussing the money, cocaine, and baby oil that were found in the rapper's hotel room.
On the 6051 form, what was found in the closet? They then show a picture to the jury, and it was plastic bags full of Johnson & Johnson baby oil and Astroglide bottles. And you're telling me Diddy is still doing this, knowing that they have already raided his house, knowing that they are about to blow down on him? What was found in the bathroom? Several bottles of baby oil, and they show that picture to the jury. Now the bedroom. What was found in the Louis Vuitton bag? Medication in the name of Frank Black. That is the name that Cassie Ventura said Diddy used as an alias. And what was the medicine? Bags of pink powder found in the medicine bottles. And then they showed a picture to the jury of it being found and tested by Customs and Border Patrol. Reading from the slip where they tested it from, the pink powder was found to be K and MA in the bottle. And then they actually passed around the physical evidence to the jury. What was found in the black mini backpack? $9,000.
Numerous well-known celebrities are reportedly concerned. In response to Diddy's trial, Justin Bieber is not the first person to publicly separate himself from him. In an attempt to avoid the latest scandal, Will Smith and Dallas preacher T.D. Jake have both distanced themselves from the public. They are aware that when the tapes are aired in court, their identities will be mentioned. This is nothing new. All of this was made public in 2018 by Jonathan Audi, Diddy's claimed sex slave. But nobody took him seriously at the time. He reported to the police that Diddy was having freak-offs and pimping Cassie out to other men. However, at the time, everyone believed he was simply insane. It's interesting to note that Orlando Brown made the same statement. The industry used to blacklist and classify anyone who mentioned Diddy as crazy.
Ace and Ross, which they good buddies, okay? They're gay. Who? Both. Diddy and Ross. And Khaled. They're all gay. Okay?
DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, and P. Diddy?
Yeah.
They're all gay?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Khaled is a Hamas supporter. Okay?
Who supporter?
Hamas.
Hamas. Yeah.
Sorry, I said it wrong.
No worries.
Hamas supporter. Okay? I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard lots.
Oh, hidden in plain sight.
It's hidden.
I think I see what you're saying.
Okay, how do I know this?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. How do you know this?
Do you know Sean Combs?
We love. We made love.
Who you made love with?
Diddy, Bow Wow, Busta Rhymes.
You just told me you see Busta in the airport too. That motherfucker tried to act like he didn't know you. You smashed Drake?
No, I never smashed.
Oh, you made love to Drake.
And Cat Williams. What's his name?
Bro, you smashing a lot of people.
What's the name? Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard. Usher. Usher's an Usher. And
Cat Williams calls out Bishop T.D. Jakes and watch as TD Jakes and Gino Jennings.
Good, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm good because I know the truth.
TD Jakes, do not speak against hope.
The same old tactics are being used by Diddy's attorneys. Diddy was being singled out because he was black, and they wanted to turn this case into a racial one. But as soon as word spread about what Diddy had been doing behind closed doors, this defense collapsed.
The lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, made it very clear that race is going to be front and center.
Let's switch our focus to the government. In my opinion, I'm just going to say it the way it is. No friend historically of the successful black man. Okay, none. And they start making this case, in my opinion, as a takedown of a successful black man. Here's a man who has made some of the most important businesses owned by a black man. Run, owned, created, founded. The vision was that of a black man. What have we done? We have reduced him, not everyone, but a large amount of our society, to being a monster. That should make us shake in our boots.
So, Mark Agnifilo, obviously white.
Yes.
The co-counsel is Tenny Garrigus, white. And Mark Garrigus, her dad, who we're told is going to play a significant part in this case, white.
Well, and let's remember, you're going to have at least one witness and probably a parade of witnesses of black females who are going to claim they were victimized by Diddy. And so, in order to give sort of a human face to that, maybe suggest that that's not the case, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, the jury is finding cues in every piece of evidence, but also who's representing him. And if they just have a bunch of white folks sort of defending him, all those black female alleged victims maybe going to look like they're being targeted by his high-priced legal.
Diddy was using bribery to hide his wrongdoings. According to testimony from an LAPD officer who used to work at the hotel where Diddy would hold his freak-offs, Diddy promised him a sizable sum of money in exchange for keeping silent about what he witnessed. Diddy is currently being found guilty based on the security guard's video evidence of the freak-off.
First witness to testify was Officer Israel Flores. He was the security officer back in 2016 when we saw that now infamous recording of Sean Combs allegedly beating Cassie Ventura in that hotel hallway. We heard from him. We watched the video in its entirety from multiple angles in order to see exactly what unfolded. And as we watch this video, I want to say, by the way, everything we're about to talk about during this live shot could be perceived as disturbing material. So just want to give our viewers a little bit of a warning here. Watching Sean Combs kick and drag and grab Cassie Ventura by her neck and by her hair over and over again. And then at one point, Cassie walks over to a phone that's in this lobby, lobby area of their 6th floor hotel room, and she calls for this instant services, and a security guard comes up, and at that point he's able to separate them and he walks them down the hallway towards the hotel room where they were. Cassie apparently telling the security officer that she just wants to leave, and Sean Combs reportedly telling her that she's not going to leave. And when they opened the door to that hotel room, there was another man, according to this officer, sitting in the
Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, also discussed this. According to him, Diddy contacted him 58 times in an attempt to get him to stop talking and to tell him that enough was enough. Diddy was contacting Gene through people close to him. After reporting to Diddy on everyone's activities, Diddy would employ his guards and chief of staff, Christina Courtroom, to make people vanish.
The whole thing about it is that Puff wasn't right what he did to people around us, man. He wasn't right what he did to people around us. Him being hard-headed, not listening, and not telling the truth and constantly lying cost a lot of people their lives, man. It cost a lot of people their lives. I want him to understand. When I told him, if we don't do something to these doors, people gonna die tonight. And forget, and I wanna say F what other people say, everybody know I told him that. Our whole crew know I told him that. From Slick to Nord, Bunny, Big Boy, Eddie, all the people that was with us that night. know I told him that. 9 people end up dead.
Ventura just named Christina Korm as keeping tabs on her for Diddy. Cassie Ventura is giving her testimony against Diddy right now in his trial, and she just name-dropped Diddy's ex-chief of staff, Christina Korm. Cassie Ventura started her testimony about her early relationship with Diddy, and she even admitted at the very beginning she took E without knowing because it was in a Gatorade bottle. Then she went on to describe the abuse that would start happening to her and how Diddy would keep tabs on her. The government asked Cassie Ventura, how did Diddy keep tabs on you? And she said, we didn't live far apart. He'd send security to come find me or a trusted assistant. Like who? David James or Christina Korm. And we know that Diddy's ex-chief of staff, Christina Korm, has been named in multiple civil lawsuits with Diddy. So the fact that Cassie Ventura just listed her literally sent chills all the way up my spine. Because back in 2018 and prior, during Cassie and Diddy's relationship, I didn't even know if Christina Korm at this time would have any part in any of this. Cassie Ventura points out at this time, Christina Korm was only an assistant for Diddy. She wasn't even Diddy's chief of staff during this time. And I already know that this will not be the last that we hear about Christina Korm. I just didn't know it was happening this early on. Diddy's ex-assistant, Philip Pines, who was on the fall for Diddy, admitted that he testified to the grand jury against Diddy, and he showed us so many pieces of evidence in his documentary interview. He showed text messages between him and Christina Korm of Christina Korm asking for all of these different freak-offs.
All of this has to do with Victim 3's disappearance. One of the prosecution's key prosecutors disappeared days before the witnesses were set to testify. She has yet to be located. Is it really our responsibility to think that this is all a coincidence? Knowing Diddy could pursue her, this witness was ready to testify under her own name. And now it appears that's what took place.
Selection of a jury in the Sean Diddy Combs case almost complete. Prosecutors are preparing for opening arguments on Monday, but they admit there's a snag. One of their key witnesses against the rapper appears to have gone missing. This comes as we learn that Combs' ex-girlfriend, who was seen on video being assaulted by the rapper, is pregnant. Here's Les Trent.
Is a key witness in the Sean Diddy Combs trial backing out? Victim number 3, as she's called, was set to testify against the music mogul. The name of victim number 3 was going to be revealed when she took the stand, but the woman has apparently gone missing, and prosecutors say they've been unable to reach her.
People just get nervous, and this person could just be nervous and just has had second thoughts.
If the prosecutor can't find this witness, how might it affect the case?
Look, I don't think it's going to have a tremendous effect. The prosecution is going to call a number of alleged victims. So look, this is just one less.
Someone else is also getting cold feet. A juror sent an email to the judge asking to be removed from the panel for issues of personal well-being.
One of the few names that is consistently spoken out against Diddy is 50 Cent. Did he do it? His next Netflix docuseries is scheduled to debut in early 2025. 50 purports to provide unique information about Diddy. Additionally, sources state that Diddy and Kanye are attempting to halt it by filing cease and desist orders.
The Netflix docuseries that you've been working on, Diddy Do It?
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right.
Yet you've said you weren't a part of that lifestyle, you weren't going to the parties. So what makes you so absolutely sure that these kinds of allegations that we've seen against him are true?
Well, I'm surprised by the allegations, as surprised as everyone else is. Like, I didn't make the allegations, I didn't tell people to say these things. It comes out, I see it in the news like everyone else, but I did feel uncomfortable with the way he would present the idea of going to these projects.
To come party with me.
Yeah. And then that swayed me away from it, just that alone.
So you didn't realize
as much stuff has come, like when I see him today, it was allegations of 3 men that said he drugged them, and it's a long time, to be honest with you. Like, when people don't remember being violated for 20 years, it makes me feel a little hard.
What are your thoughts on the allegations against Jay-Z?
That was interesting. When I was saying things not knowing exactly what I was saying. I was going, like, where's Jay at? He's mad quiet. Like while the Puffy thing was going on. But it's obvious now that his team was being made aware that he was in those allegations also. You know, so I hope it works out, because with his family, the things that go on internally those accusations are crazy.
Diddy's freak-off tapes will be played in court, according to Judge Aaron Subramanian. But neither the public nor the media will be able to see them, since doing so would violate the victim's right to privacy. There isn't a single instance that I can think of that would require the showing of pictures or recordings of these kinds of alleged sexual actions in public when there is a clear risk of revictimization, he said.
That was discussed this morning. Will the public, will the media be able to see video of these freak-offs? During opening statements, we heard that the jurors are going to be able to see video of these freak-offs. These are the sexual encounters between, for instance, Cassie Ventura, as well as another woman, Jane, and male escorts, as well as Sean Diddy Combs. But there's an argument that only the jurors will be able to see these. So we'll have to see what happens. The judge is taking that under advisement. Right now, what's taking place is the continuation of the cross-examination of a man by the name of Daniel Phillip. Julie, he is the male stripper that was hired by, he said, Cassie to engage in sexual acts.
This trial is developing into the largest scandal in hip-hop history, complete with missing witnesses and shocking courtroom disclosures. It will only get dirtier with the upcoming 50 Cent docuseries. To ensure you don't miss our next in-depth discussion, please press the bell, like, and subscribe. Wait until you see what comes next if you think this is crazy. There is more to this story. By no means.